America has made a massive mistake, and what Russia just announced could leave the US with literally zero friends. Well, a report just came out today saying that because of the war in Iran, Russia is expected to double the amount of money they're making from oil and gas this month. For context, obviously because Iran has shut the Strait of Hormuz, many countries around the world no longer have enough gas or oil for their people. That means the demand for oil and gas is higher, and there's not many countries that sell it. And so Russia is taking advantage of it, and they're now putting their prices up because there's a higher demand. And in the last month, the amount of money Russia has made from selling their oil and gas has doubled. The report that's come out today says that Russia has gone from making $12 billion a month to 24. That is about $760 million per day. But it gets even bigger than that. The report said that obviously if the war continues, the demand for oil and gas will grow even more. And if the war continues another 6 months, Russia is expected to make over $385 billion. That is a revenue increase for Russia of over 188% compared to what it was before the war started. And it's not like the war isn't expected to continue. Polymarket, a place where you can predict world events, predicted that the chance of there being a ceasefire in the war by the end of just next month has dropped to 40%. And that percentage is dropping the longer the war goes on for. And as you'd expect, the Russian President Putin is really quite happy about this, and he's urged the Russian state gas companies to use it as a smart opportunity. He said, quote, Russian oil and gas companies should consider using this additional revenue from the rising prices of oil and gas to reduce their debt. He said they should, quote, pay off their debt to the domestic banks. That would be a mature decision. Of course, I'm not a businessman, I'm a journalist who makes the news, but I imagine this is quite a smart decision. Putin probably knows what he's talking about, considering he's been running one of the world's biggest countries for the last 20 years. It seems Putin is pretty happy, and I imagine he really is, because Russia is making a fortune now because of this war. They've currently doubled the amount of money they're making a month, and as I said, if the war continues for another 6 months, they're going to 4x the amount of money they were making. That is a big increase, but a lot of countries are making money from this, and I'm going to cover a lot of them. So leave me a follow because I'll keep you up to date on all the global news you won't hear about, including the war, but trade deals and economic things like this.